My ex-wife expects me to take her stepkids on my family outings because they're jealous of all the fun my kids have. Is she out of her mind or what? We divorced 4 years ago after 12 years of marriage. I have my 2 kids, ages 10 and 8, every other weekend while she got remarried to some guy named Derek, who has 3 kids from his first marriage. So when my kids visit her, there's 5 children in that house competing for attention. It started small. 3 months ago, she texted asking if I could take her stepkids to the zoo with us. I said no. She said I was being difficult. I ignored it. Then she asked again before our trip to the water park. Said her stepkids were crying because they saw pictures of my kids on the slides. I told her that's between her and Derek. She called me selfish and hung up. Last month it got worse. She showed up at my house unannounced with all 3 stepkids in the car. Said she figured if she just brought them, I'd have no choice. I told her to leave. My kids stood there watching the whole thing, confused about why their mom was acting so desperate. Here's what she doesn't know. Every weekend I have my kids. I take them somewhere special because their stepdad makes them do yard work the entire time they're at his house. Not normal chores. I'm talking 6-hour shifts in the heat. My daughter told me 2 months ago that Derek woke them up at 6 a.m. on a Saturday to pull weeds. She spent 4 hours on her knees in the dirt while he stood there drinking coffee and criticizing her work. My son said Derek makes them rake the entire yard every single visit. Even though it's nearly an acre, he times them. If they don't finish in under 3 hours, they have to start over. My kids are terrified to tell their mother. They think she'll accuse them of lying or get mad at them for complaining about Derek. So they just tell her everything's fine and then come to my place exhausted. Meanwhile, her stepkids sit inside playing video games the entire weekend. My kids have seen them. They've watched through the window while they're outside sweating. And Derek's kids are on the couch eating snacks and doing absolutely nothing. My ex has no idea any of this is happening. She thinks her house is some perfect blended family situation. She posts photos on Facebook calling Derek an amazing father. It makes me sick. So last week when she called demanding I take her stepkids to a Dodgers game with us, I said fine, but only if she comes too. She agreed immediately, probably thinking she'd get a free day out while I handled all 5 kids. She showed up Saturday morning looking annoyed, asked where we were going. I said we're not going anywhere yet. First, we're doing a family activity here at my place. I handed her a rake. Handed her stepkids rakes too. Pointed to my yard and said we're doing yard work today. All of us, together. Her face went completely blank. She said, this is ridiculous. We're supposed to be going to the game. I smiled and told her the kids mentioned how much they love doing yard work at her house every weekend. Thought it would be a great bonding experience for everyone. My kids stood there trying not to laugh. They knew exactly what I was doing. I told her stepkids they had 3 hours to rake the entire yard or we'd have to start over, just like Derek's rules. Her oldest stepkid, the 13-year-old, immediately said, this is stupid and he's not doing it. That's when my daughter spoke up. She said it's not stupid when Derek makes us do it every single weekend. My son added that Derek times them and yells if they miss any leaves or take too long. My ex's face changed. She looked at my kids and asked if that was true. My daughter started crying and said they didn't want to tell her because they thought she'd be mad. My ex tried to say they must be exaggerating. I pulled out my phone and showed her the photos my kids had sent me over the past 2 months. Pictures of blisters on their hands, screenshots of texts from my daughter saying she was too tired to do homework, a video my son took of Derek yelling at them for taking a water break. She grabbed her stepkids without saying a word and left. Didn't even look at me. That was 6 days ago. Yesterday, my daughter told me Derek doesn't make them do yard work anymore. Said their mom had a huge fight with him and now he barely speaks to them when they visit. My kids haven't touched a rake since.